let's see if we can weave some magic here. So there's a Jupiter Uranus conjunction happening amidst a Mercury retrograde, amidst an eclipse season. Yeah, those three. And I don't want us to miss the magic of the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. There's a way that I'm feeling where we could literally like drink the Jupiter Kool-Aid and just get so expanded and blissed out and like, oh my God, thank God I don't feel so crappy, because I think some of us felt a little bit crappy during that eclipse season. A lot of detoxing going on, a lot of, let's call it alchemizing. It was a lot of releasing, detoxing, purifying, a lot of ascension symptoms. So a big part of what this whole cycle, these three things all together are about, is moving us, I don't know, higher into higher frequencies, higher vibrations, higher states of consciousness, right? Like, I don't know, from 3D to 5D, things like that. And that takes a physical toll on us. So my sense, though, here's a warning, is this Jupiter-Uranus thing, we are just like grabbing onto it and just going like, oh my God, I just need a joyride for a minute. I just like need something to make me feel good for a minute. And that's the hazard. So don't get me wrong, like feel good and grab onto the magic, but embody and ground in the magic. So here's something that I'd love to offer us for this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, like around the 20th, this whole week, next week, all of this applies, right? So Jupiter-Uranus happens on the 20th, Mercury goes direct on the 25th, there's a full moon happening, I think it's the 23rd. So this whole time frame, these energetics apply for this. And it's thinking practical, grounded magic. Like the grace, the bliss, the joy, it's Taurus. It's happening in Taurus. How do I ground that into my life? How do I embody it? Not just experience it. So it's like taking a mushroom trip, right? Or an ayahuasca journey versus the being able to consistently access that state of consciousness anytime, anywhere, for anything. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like there's a touching into something, and then there's the embodiment of it. And that's what Taurus, Uranus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus is asking us. It's to embody it and to embody it into our depths. So Taurus is the deepest parts of self, the most grounded, rooted parts of self. So can we bring the new, because all this is pointing to the new. This eclipse season is about the new, right? Pluto in Aquarius points to the new. This Jupiter-Uranus points to the new. It's the new. Aries is this eclipse season. We're in a new moon Aries cycle. Aries, new. Mercury retrograde is in Aries. It's pointing to the new. Can we bring the new ways, the expanded sense of self, the new earth ways, into our deepest, most rooted, grounded parts of self? Isn't that wild? So here's how this week's. Ready for it? Chiron is a part of that, because our wounds are oftentimes the deepest rooted parts of self. They are grounded, they are rooted, they are anchored in, they are deeply ingrained patterns of whatever. And when I talk about wounding, it's anything that, let's just say, disempowers you. It can be like a past life memory. It can be an experience in this life. It can be a pattern where it's less than empowered, shining your light, right? So let's talk about it like that. Like, I think that's a good way of describing it for this conversation anyways. And so Chiron's pointing to that. Mercury is going underground to help point to that, to help to translate. Hey, here's where your expansion hasn't happened yet. Here's where your new ways of being haven't been anchored in. Here's where your new levels of love and light haven't gotten yet. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is all about, instead of touching in to higher states of consciousness, it's becoming higher states of consciousness in your deepest wounds. Becoming that love, not just when you're tripping on some mushrooms, right? You become that love in the triggered situations of your deep wounds. Isn't this intense? What kind of growth is this, though? Like, this is big growth. This is freedom. This is freedom is what this is. It is absolute freedom. Isn't that amazing? Like, amazing. Let me feel if there's anything else I can maybe weave into this moment in time. It's destined, it's fated, because it's the eclipse season still. We're still in the eclipse. This new moon cycle, this whole cycle, it was a new moon eclipse. So we're in it for the next 3 weeks, right? And so what does that mean? It's very karmic. It's amplified. It's hidden. So eclipses, they sometimes hide to then reveal later on. To me, the Mercury retrograde is helping to reveal. It's helping to bring the insights to the surface around what that eclipse was about for you, what this new moon cycle is about for you, what these new seeds are that you're planting, right? New seeds, new chapter, new moon. That's what that eclipse was. Now we get like the water and the sunshine and the fertilizer in an enormous amount with the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. So if you haven't kind of planted seeds for future potentials, like big potentials, big aligned. So eclipses always align us with deep truth, soul purpose. So it's like planting seeds for that which is so aligned for me, so aligned and so true. Like the truest, most fulfilling thing I can think of. And that may mean like having to shed the egoical things around it so that we can really feel into the soul callings, the soul purposes, the soul gifts that want to be revealed. This is also a moment where new gifts are coming online. The Jupiter Uranus thing can really bring this about because it's awakening, right? It's awakening. It's spiritual awakening. It's gifts awakening. It's potentials awakening in a big way. So because it's in Taurus, it's very embodied. And so waking up are innate gifts within ourselves. And that's pretty good. I'm in. But if we put all those things together, so what do we put together? So let's just summarize all of this. Here's what we're putting together. This is like the big full picture to get all of these pieces, right? It's one, miraculous healing. Don't skip over the wounds. Give some space to the wounds. Bring that grace and the miraculous nature into the deep, dark places, right? That's one. The gifts coming online. Give some space for the gifts to come online, right? Be so okay to step into more of your authenticity, your unique self. It's Aries. So we've got to be able to stand on our own. Aries is asking us, like, you are an individual. You are a sovereign, autonomous individual. Step into your own. So reclaiming these gifts, stepping into our own, and aligning them with soul callings. So the gift is not for the ego to grab onto. It's not for accolades. It's not for self-worth, right? On the highest level, the gift is given to be given. You're given the gift so that you can give the gift, right? So these things that are awakening in you, it's then to open up and listen to the soul callings and how are you called to express this out into the world? Those are the pieces to put together. Those are the pieces to put together. That's the magic of this moment. It's pretty good, huh? If you haven't listened to the Jupiter Uranus podcast episode, definitely recommend going to listen to that. We'll like put links all over, or you could write 231 in the comments and we'll shoot you a DM or a link below, a comment or something like that to get you over to the YouTube video directly. But we'll do a full moon video. I always do the new moons and full moons, so that'll be coming out soon too. But in the meantime, like, I don't know, like create the space and go for it. I've never seen astrology like this. I've never experienced, I've worked the eclipses, I've facilitated and been very, very plugged into them for years and years and years and years. I've never seen an eclipse like this. I've been watching Mercury retrogrades for probably the last 4 years, maybe 5, 3, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, who knows? Very, very closely watching them. I've not seen a Mercury retrograde like this. Like, this lineup is just, it is a lot of grace and it's requiring a lot. It might be a lot of transformation really quickly. And so take good care of yourself. Give yourself what you need, right? Water, 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 water. Go slow, sleep a lot, but meditate a lot. You need some sacred practices. You need some sacred space. We really want to be giving ourselves the capacity to channel that grace in. The Jupiter Uranus grace, like, how are you supporting yourself to bring that much in? And how are you aligning that to your soul's path forward? If you don't have a place, think about joining membership, right? We have 8 hours of these practices supporting that in ReWilding membership. It's $59, I think. 8 hours of it. And we have a circle coming up on the 22nd. There's a surprise happening for that one. I can't tell you because it's a surprise, but it'll be powerful. Definitely linked to the grace of this moment. We have another circle coming up on the 1st. I don't know if it sings to you. I think you can type in bones. We call it living close to the bone because it's about living like in the soul fire, like walking that razor's edge of truth, you know, like the truth of your potentials, the truth of your highest self. And can we support each other in that? And so that's what the whole group is based around. And so if you're interested in more details on that, just type bones below and we'll get you some details on that. But I don't know. I'll see you in, I don't know, the next little video or on 231 episode, or maybe I'll see you in bones for some of the live circles coming up where we dive into it. All right. Huge love to you all.